Hey, welcome back. I'm Ferrixter, here to bring you some more Pokemon Go Battle League battles. These battles are played not in Go Battle League, they are practice battles. And I'm playing them against members of the community and Speediest Chief, a streamer. So before I hop into these battles, let's take a really quick look at the meta. This is for the Element Cup. I think I might have forgotten to say that in the last sentence. A brand new cup where you have to use Little Cup Pokemon, so 500 CP max, and they must contain one of either water, grass, or fire to be considered. They have to be able to evolve and have not evolved. So this is the way the meta looks. After having played my practice battles, I can definitely, for the most part, agree with the list. Ducklet on top, absolutely. Ducklet is a water type, but it functions pretty much like a flyer, which means that it is super effective against grass, which would normally be the thing that counters the water. So it resists water, takes neutral from grass, and resists fire. It's just all around a very strong Pokemon for this meta. Has fantastic typing, has Wing Attack, Aerial Ace, Brave Bird. That is a really good set. Also comes with Bubble Beam available, but I would recommend Aerial Ace instead because Bubble Beam obviously makes a great bait move, but it doesn't really help you do chip damage. Whereas Aerial Ace will kind of help you chip things down if you're not in a position where you can safely Brave Bird. Next down the list, we've got Cottony. Definitely agree with that. Does all of its damage with Charm, only resists by Fire, and the Fire types that are here, Growlithe, Vulpix, Shadow, and Growlithe, Vulpix, not Shadow, are all kind of squishy, so Charm still chunks. Bulbasaur, the Fire types I mentioned, Chikorita, yeah, it's mostly... I can mostly agree with everything that's up here. Chinchou, I don't think is that amazing because, yeah, it does pretty well against fire, but I don't know. It's mostly there to hard counter Ducklet, but even there, Ducklet has some play against it, and Chinchou isn't that thick, and it just builds up energy so slowly. I don't know that I love it. But yeah, I can scroll down, see other things. Turtwig, Budew, you can use the seal that you built for open Little Cup. It definitely comes in play here. The recommended set is Ice Shard with Aquatail Icy Wind. I prefer to run it with Lick. There's a lot of concern that the meta here, because of the way it's designed with water, fire, and grass, which all counter each other in a circle and get countered the other way, that it'll be a very rock, paper, scissors kind of meta, and I can definitely see that, but there's ways around it. Like, if you pick Pokemon that instead of shutting down one and getting shut down by the other, maybe they're not as highly rated. Like, what on this list would that be? I don't know, like Turtwig with Razor Leaf will obviously do really well against waters, not so great-ish against grass, and pretty bad against fire, but because it has enough strong winning matchups, it ends up kind of high in the rankings. But I think that, you know, there's a case to be made for using things like Seal with, instead of Ice Shard, with Lick, because then it has more decent play against everything without really hard shutting down other things. Same with Ducklet. Like, it's a water type, but it hits grass for super effective. Ducklet is just amazing. You should really, really use it. I was also introduced to Vulpix with, instead of Ember, the recommended set, which will help it really hard shut down grass, running it with Quick Attack instead so that it has better, you know, counter coverage, can do more damage to its counters. So when you run all Pokemon that kind of have neutral-ish matchups, leaves more opportunity for you to make amazing plays, great catches, good, you know, energy management. You can definitely do a lot more rather than getting hard countered if you run a team that is kind of more vulnerable to getting hard countered by, you know, by just the bad lead, bad swap. Better to run a team where you can have some way to play out of it. So, since I've, you know, gotten through that and the kind of my team building strategy, let's hop into these games and see how these Pokemon perform. So, my first opponent is Nava Empire. I am versing 5 different opponents doing bouts of 3. So, Ducklet into Bulbasaur. Looks like it wouldn't be a great matchup for Ducklet, but you can think of Ducklet as more of a flying type than a water. So, my wing attacks are doing tremendous damage to this Bulbasaur. I'm going to throw this Aerial Ace, and he has to shield, or he will go down. He builds up to about a... I switch out at the last second to try to catch a Seed Bomb on my Growlithe, and I do, and Growlithe... Shiny Growlithe, Shadow Growlithe, mine happens to be shiny, is so squishy that even that resisted Seed Bomb does tremendous damage. Growlithe's only really usable fast move is Ember, so that kind of leaves it with a lot less play than, say, a Vulpix with Quick Attack, but I was not, at the time of this battle, I was not aware that that was a thing. So I'm going to bring out my Shadow Slowpoke and try to Confusion the rest of the way down. I correctly shield the Brave Bird, which is the right move to throw because he's only going to get off one. And then my Confusion KOs him. On my Slowpoke, I'm running Psychic and Water Pulse. I think there's actually a case to be made for not running Psychic and just running the Psyshock, which is probably honestly the better move. You get to it one Confusion faster, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but it really does help in a lot of situations where you get to that move. And yeah, when you're using Slowpoke, you're either going to KO your opponent or get a shield because these are some heavy-hitting moves. Either way, you can see how much the Confusion is doing. Psyshock, for reference, does about as much damage as 4 Confusions. So yeah, that would be enough to take out Vulpix if you had done the Confusions ahead of time also. Gonna bring my Ducklet out against this Vulpix. Gonna throw this Aerial Ace and yeah, managed to take him down. And now Bulbasaur comes back out. I'm out of shields and I get hit with this Sludge Bomb. Would have survived the Seed Bomb, but did not survive the Sludge. So GG to my opponent. That was really good energy management. Just barely managed to take me out. All right, into game 2. Bulbasaur into Cottonee. So this is a pretty good matchup for me also. My opponent switches into Vulpix and I switch into Ducklet. And this would be a really dominating matchup if the Vulpix was running the recommended set of Ember, but it's not. It's running Quick Attack. And I wasn't super familiar with the counts for here, but Quick Attack actually charges pretty damn fast. You get to the Body Slams in, I think it's 6 Quick Attacks, and same thing for the Weather Ball Fire. He no-shields the Aerial Ace, which is not amazing for me. I'm just going to... I think my opponent's actually at back-to-back here, but because I snuck in 1 extra Wing Attack when he threw, he's only able to throw 1 Body Slam before he goes down. So managed to kind of save myself a little bit in that situation here. I've got my Ducklet with some energy. His own Ducklet comes out. I'm going to throw this Aerial Ace. Could definitely have charged up a little more beforehand and maybe threatened more with the Brave Bird. Building up here, and I'm going to throw another Aerial Ace. I think I had some indecision there. I was trying to click on both of them. Thankfully, I get the shield, and yeah, because my opponent's still not throwing, I'm going to be able to just barely get to this next Aerial Ace. So throwing this third Aerial Ace, and yeah, if these had been Bubble Beams, like if I had been in that situation where I had Bubble Beam, this would have been a much worse matchup. Like I would have debuffed Ducklet, but it would have farmed me down energy anyway, and just had so much energy. So going to no-shield this Aerial Ace and sneak in an Ember, and I'm going to have to shield this one because otherwise it would take me out. My opponent transfers the Ember onto his Cottonee, and for whatever reason I'm throwing a Body Slam. I should really just be going straight Weather Ball. I don't know what I was thinking there. I'm just barely not going to be able to reach that Weather Ball if I stay in there. So I transfer 1 Charm onto Bulbasaur, and Bulbasaur's also fine at receiving the damage from Cottonee's charge move. Cottonee only learns grass-type charge moves, so can absorb that no problem. Bulbasaur double resists that. I'm going to throw this Sludge Bomb here, and that was unnecessary. Could have just thrown the Seed Bomb. That would have been plenty, but was just trying to be cautious, throw the Seed Bomb. And yeah, able to Vine Whip down the Ducklet when it came back out. GG. So, alright, next up into Game 3. Opening with my Growlithe into this Vulpix, and this would normally be an okay matchup, but the Vulpix has Quick Attack, so it's going to outpace, and it also outdamages Growlithe. It's just, you know, it's a fire that can definitely take on other fires. So I am going to no-shield this Seed Bomb. It does so much damage, but that's alright. I am at my Icy Wind, so I'm going to throw this Icy Wind, and it does even more damage than the Seed Bomb did, and I'm able to lick down before I go down, so I'm able to take switch advantage here. That is humongous in this situation. So Ducklet comes out and Wing Attacks me down, and that is fine. I am actually going to send out my own Growlithe against this Ducklet because I'm anticipating that this Ducklet is just running Flying-type moves. So it's going to be mostly hitting Growlithe for neutral, and sure, I'll be, you know, throwing my resisted Embers, but thankfully he lets the Body Slam go through, and the Body Slam would do tremendous damage. The Aerial Ace just straight takes me out because Shadow Growlithe is pretty squishy in Little Cup. So I'm going to shield this Aerial Ace because I was kind of anticipating that it was going to turn out to be the, what's that other move? The Brave Bird. Thankfully, or well, I shielded it, so I guess thankfully would have been better if it was the Brave Bird, but it wasn't. That's fine. Up against this this Quick Attack Vulpix, it throws a Body Slam. And I'm building up some extra energy here. It throws another body slam. It's getting to these things so damn fast. The body slam does that much damage, which is quite a bit. Throwing this aerial ace, I'm going to get the last shield here, and I just need to be able to reach one more aerial ace, and I'll be able to take this Vulpix down, because Vulpix isn't that thick. I get to the aerial ace, but I lose the CMP tie. So this body slam is going to take me out. Unfortunate for me, but yeah, this was my first, matchups, and yeah, encountering that Vulpix with quick attack really left an impression on me. So I went ahead and made my own afterwards, hopping into this next best of 3 against Heisenberg. So Bulbasaur into Cottonee, fantastic lead for me. My opponent switches into Ducklet, and I have to pause for a minute before switching in my own Ducklet because I was trying to figure a better choice, but yeah, I really cannot send Barboach in. End up shielding the Brave Bird, which is fantastic for me, so I build up some excess energy before I throw this Aerial Ace. This Aerial Ace will KO because Ducklet has lowered his defense, and Ducklet goes down, which is fantastic for me because the other 2 Pokemon really don't do amazing against Ducklet to begin with. So a Chinchou comes out, which is definitely why he let his Ducklet go down. Chinchou is one of the strongest counters to Ducklet, but look at how much this Brave Bird does. It still does a ridiculous amount of damage. So even Chinchou, the counter to Ducklet, really has to watch out for that Brave Bird. I'm going to send Barboach out, and I am going to end up shielding here because I thought it was a heavier water move, but it's just a Bubble Beam, so definitely a wasted shield. I end up switching out into my Bulbasaur. Really wish I had that extra shield right now. I am going to throw this Sludge Bomb right away because I was hoping maybe he would no shield, anticipating the bait. And now I'm just going to throw the Seed Bomb, but I am getting way too low at this point. My only win condition was to double bait Seed Bomb, and I would have gotten both shields, would have been able to reach the move. I can't even throw my Seed Bomb. And now, since I wasted my shield on the Bubble Beam bait, I'm not going to be able to reach my Ice Beam. I get one-shotted by the Seed Bomb, taken out. Amazing plays by my opponent, though. Really came back there in the end. All right, next up. So, Ducklet into Budew, a matchup that might be good, but it depends on what Budew's fast move is. Budew can learn Hidden Power, so it could come in with Hidden Power Electric. You never know. Gotta watch out for that. So, switches into Chinchou, and I counter swap my Cottonee, so Cottonee is going to be able to pretty much wall this damage. Chinchou is going straight Bubble Beam to debuff me, which I think would probably have made more sense to just go with the heavier hitting Thunderbolt, but perhaps he's not running that. Thunderbolt would do tremendous damage. We saw how much it did earlier in this video, I think, or did I see that later? I don't remember now. So, since that took a while, and I am triple debuffed, I'm just going to throw the cheaper charge move because I'm just trying to stall for time so I can switch out right away. I switch out into my Ducklet. Taking these hidden powers, I'm not too sure what the typing is there. He switches into his own Ducklet to catch this Aerial Ace, which is fine for me. Was definitely hoping he would switch out because now I can get my Vulpix aligned with his Budew. I'm going to shield this move. Turns out to just be a Bubble Beam bait. So, definitely wasted shield there, but that's okay. At least I can safely reach my Aerial Ace, and then I'll be able to get to my next one also. So, get the shield with that Aerial Ace, and just going to throw this one. I could have just thrown one more wing attack to throw the, what's it called, the Brave Bird, but if I had done that and he had shielded, he would have been able to fast move me the whole way down and leave himself with a ton of energy. So, it was actually just a safer play to throw the cheaper move so that I can still reach another one and threaten him, forcing him to throw a move. Switch in my Cottonee and manage to charm down. I'm going to throw this Grass Knot, the heavier hitting move, against this Budew, and it still doesn't do that much because Budew double resists, but I'm able to charm the rest of the way down, so that's alright. He's only got one Pokemon left, and it is his Ducklet. I'm just going to send out my my Quick Attack Shadow Vulpix that I just built after my last best of 3. Really liked it, and I'm going to end up using it kind of a lot in the upcoming matches. So, alright, into this next game versus Heisenberg. Shadow Vulpix versus Ducklet. So, this would be a really bad matchup if I didn't have Quick Attack, but I do now. So, I'm going to build up a little bit extra so that I can correctly Fast Move Deny. I'm going to throw these Quick Attacks. And, yeah, launch this Body Slam. If it would land, it would do quite a lot of damage because I'm a Shadow. I'm going to no shield here because I will be able to survive either of the cheaper moves. And, you know, turns out to be the Bubble Beam, so I switch out right away to Seal, and my opponent counter swaps with a Turtwig, with Razor Leaf, which is a pretty strong counter to Seal. My opponent no shields, though, and I'm able to lick the rest of the way down before Turtwig's able to even reach a body slam. So able to take switch advantage, and I have a shield advantage also. Ducklett comes out and is going to be able to wing attack me the whole way down. That's unfortunate. I am throwing this Icy Wind, but I probably should have let him throw 1 or 2 more wing attacks so that he wouldn't get in 4 more wing attacks. So this Ducklett has so much energy right now, but that's all right. I've got my shield still. So throwing on wing attack, and I am going to shield here. Turns out to be the Bubble Beam. I probably should have sent out Bulbasaur so that he would at least be slightly disincentivized to throw the Bubble Beam bait. That's all right. There's a Budew back there, and my opponent is out of shield, so this Sludge Bomb is going to land, and it does that much. It's quite a lot against this shiny Budew. That is shiny, right? I'm bad at this. I'm going to shield here, and it's just a Grass Knot. So definitely kind of a wasted shield there, but that's all right. I'm able to get to the Seed Bomb, and Bulbasaur is going to be able to win CMP here against Ducklett. And yeah, managed to take that game. GG to my opponent. All right, next up in this best of 3 against Evan, 777, 713. So, my opponent here, Evan, is a newly minted content creator here on YouTube. You can definitely go check out his channel. Link to him in the description down below. His channel is actually dedicated to auto-wrecking his way to legend. Auto-wrecked, if you're not familiar with that, it's more popular on Twitch. It's a format where you delete all of your teams and you go in and use whatever the recommended team is. And the recommended teams are not usually great. I would not recommend running the recommended teams, but he's trying to make his way to legend using only that auto-rect feature in GBL, which is nuts. I don't know if that's going to be doable, but it sounds like a lot of fun to watch. Definitely check him out. So I get my Bulbasaur stuck against this Charmander. I'm going to throw the Sludge Bomb. If this were to land, it would absolutely KO. Charmander is super, super squish, but thankfully it allowed me to stall for enough time that I can get my Shadow Vulpix with Quick Attack out. So I am going to severely outpace this Charmander. The Body Slam KOs. Oh my gosh, that does a lot of damage. And I'm able to just barely get to my next Body Slam. Could have also thrown the Weather Ball Fire. They take the same amount of energy to throw, so there's really no reason to bait. And yeah, managed to take that game. 2 shield flex also. All right. So on into game 2. Ducklett into Tympole. So Tympole is like a Mudboy, but without the ground subtyping. Grows up into a Mudboy, but in its first form, it is pure water. So that's fine. Doesn't give it a double weakness to grass. Really, a ground typing doesn't really do you any favors in this meta. So that's fine. I was able to build up a lot of energy, which is fantastic. Now I can unload this energy on Ducklett. I was hoping that I would get the shield there, but since I didn't, that's all right. I'm just going to throw my next Aerial Ace, and here he's going to have to shield, or he'll get wing attacked down before he's even able to reach a move. I could really just stay in here because it looks like I'm just a little bit ahead on health. I end up shielding a Bubble Beam, which means I actually can't stay in here, and now I have to switch out. So I switch into my Growlithe, which is running Ember. And yeah, take a Bubble Beam, and it does so much damage. I'm not even going to be able to Ember the rest of the way down. I have to throw this Body Slam, which is not great. Do not love Growlithe in this cup. Sure, it would super, super shut down grass types, but I definitely prefer the flexibility that Quick Attack Vulpix gives. So I'm going to no-shield this Mud Bomb again, and build up some extra energy. I could have built up even a little bit more, thrown 1 or 2 more wing attacks before I throw this Aerial Ace. He wasn't quite at his next Mud Bomb. And yeah, there's a Charmander back there. I switch out because I'm just barely not going to be able to reach my next Aerial Ace into my Barboach. I love Barboach, by the way, but I don't know if Mudboys have amazing play in a meta mostly dominated by Ducklett. Like, Ducklett into my beloved Barboach would not be great for Barboach, but I am able to reach the Mud Bomb here. I decide to BM my opponent instead, which there's really no call for that. Throwing this Ice Beam, and still KOs Charmander because Charmander is super, super squishy in this meta. I'm sorry, Evan. It just felt like I had the ability to do it, and it just felt like the thing to do. I'm sorry. So, all right, into game 3. Cottonee into Snover. This is a terrible matchup for Cottonee. Well, it's not actually that bad because the charms really do a lot and Snover's not that thick. Switch into Vulpix and my opponent switches into Ducklett. So this would be a terrible matchup if I wasn't running Quick Attack. Thankfully, I am able to get to these body slams pretty fast, and the Quick Attack does pretty reasonable damage. So I'm going to shield here, and it's a Bubble Beam. I would barely survive that, but I kind of wanted to play this matchup out a little bit more just to see how far I could push this Shadow Vulpix. So he lets that next Body Slam go, and I've built up to extra energy each time, hoping that maybe he would lose track. I'm able to reach this next Body Slam. I think he had built up a little bit excess energy, so thankfully was able to get there. This was a CMP tie, so I'm going to let this go. This is the best case scenario for how I can exit this matchup. And my opponent is out of shields, and I still have one. So I'm going to send in Slowpoke because I'll be able to take the damage from this Ducklet a lot better on him. Absorb this Bubble Beam. It does not do that much, and now I'm just going to switch out to Cottonee right away to clear my debuff. I met with Snover, but that's all right. I have a shield, so I'll be able to shield one of these Weather Balls if Snover learns that. No, it's an Energy Ball. So I'm not actually sure what Snover learns. I should really have looked that up before I hopped in. Where is Snover in this list here on the side of me? Wow, where is this thing? I cannot find it. Huh. Is it not that good in this meta? Or something? Huh. You know, it might not be recommended to run Snover. Wow, cannot find it anywhere. Oh, here it is. Number 59. Powder Snow, Energy Ball, Ice Beam. Oh, that's expensive. All right, that's a good call for not running Snover. Ice Beam is pretty expensive. It would take a long time to charge up to. So, into this next game. We get to see my Quick Attack Vulpix demolish an Ember Vulpix. And yeah, since I have all this excess energy, I am going to throw these Body Slams into the Seal. Seal is pretty tanky. You can definitely remember that from Open Little Cup back in the Bronzor meta. Shield this Aquatail because I am getting to these Body Slams so damn fast. I feel like I just want to stay in. Throw another one. I know I can get my shield back, and I'll be able to get to another Body Slam if he doesn't throw, and he does not. So I'm able to get to another Body Slam, and I'm going to be able to get this next shield off my opponent. So now he's out of shields, and I still have 2 full Pokemon. I'm going to send out Slowpoke because I really should have just stayed in this in the first place. I just thought that the Seal would have Lick. So I'm able to Confusion, and yeah. I switch out of this matchup way, way too slowly. I really should have switched out sooner so that I wouldn't have to take this charge move, but that's all right. The charge moves from Cottonee, which are all grass type, are double resisted by Bulbasaur, so they really don't do that much. I build up a little excess energy, could have built up a little bit more even, and I'm going to throw this Sludge Bomb. Managed to take out Cottonee, double super effective, and just one more Vine Whip until I get to my Seed Bomb, able to throw this Seed Bomb against this Seal and take him out. GG to my opponent. Oh, this was a new opponent. This is Gorilla Biscuits, a member of my local raiding community, well, local community, in my local battling community. Battling's not really localized, but yeah. Member of my local community. Shout out to Gorilla Biscuits. Thank you for doing these battles with me. And thank you for answering the call at the last minute. I literally only hit people up to do this like 3 hours before this video goes up. I was just so unprepared. I was so out of it this weekend. I had a heavy drinking stream that was like 6 hours long on Twitch on Friday, and I just never recovered. Being old is not easy. I'll tell you that right now. So, gonna bring my Cottonee onto the Slowpoke. I made a mistake here, which is shielding. I should have let it go because Cottonee is gonna be kind of walled-ish by this Vulpix. And I'm making a second mistake here, which is throwing the cheaper move. I should have just thrown the Grass Knot. There's no reason to throw the Seed Bomb because I'm not going to get to a second one. The Grass Knot would have done enough that Charm would have taken him out. So definitely did myself a huge disservice there by throwing the cheaper move. But yeah, that's why we do practice battles. I know Shield the Flame Charge, which is good-ish for me, but there is a Whimsicott back there, so that's rough. I'm going to throw this Aerial Ace. And I'm going to switch out to my own Vulpix, and this actually would have been a time where it would have been better to have Ember, because it would have been able to fast move down. But even though I don't have Ember, I'm going to be able to get to my Weather Balls way faster because of Quick Attack. So, going to get there, and going to absorb these Charms without too much difficulty, get to my next Weather Ball before he throws a charge move. And manage to take Cottonee out. It doesn't one-shot, as I learned later in this set, but it does a lot. And yeah, able to Quick Attack down that Vulpix. So yeah, managed to take that game. GG to my opponent. All right, into game 3. Shadow Growlithe into Cottonee. So this is one of the best places for Shadow Growlithe. We have some nice delicious lag in the beginning. The charms do nearly as much as the embers do. And he switches into Slowpoke. You saw how much that confusion did to that Shadow Growlithe. Oh my god, that was so much damage. And I respond by counter swapping in my Chinchou, which is going to be able to absorb these confusions a lot better. My opponent no shields, which is the right move because I would outpace him. And yeah, brings in his own Cottonee. Not quite able to get to my next Thunderbolt. Would have been nice if I had, what's that bait move called? Bubble Beam there, but, you know, I'm not carrying that. I'm just carrying the double heavier moves because Bubble Beam on Chinchou doesn't really strike me as being super useful. Would have been a little helpful here, but this was a niche situation. Able to take out this Cottonee, and yeah. Now I have to switch out, and it is a Seal running Ice Shard against my Bulbasaur, and the Seal still has 2 shields, so this is looking not amazing. Shield that first Aqua Tail, knew it was going to be an Aqua Tail, but I had to shield it anyway because I need this health to be able to reach a third Seed Bomb. I get the first shield here. Getting my fast move timing down very carefully. I'm able to throw this next one. It looks like I'm probably going to get Ice Sharded down. I might not even be able to reach the next move, but this was a CMP tie that I lost, so that is best case scenario. I'm going to let myself go down because I have no choice in the matter. And I'm going to bring out Growlithe. And because I'm resisting these Ice Shards, I'm able to get to this last Body Slam. And I'm able to throw this and manage to take this Game 3. My gosh, that was a close game. Amazing Game 3. Thank you, Gorilla Biscuits, for that match. Next up, against another member of my local community, Go Brooks Go. Brooks is actually one of the community leaders and one of the first people to do Silph with me. Actually, one of the first people that brought me into the battling scene before GBL even dropped. Had no real access to Silph without him. So yeah, shout out to Brooks. Thank you very much for helping get me started. And yeah, so I'm going to bait first with Seed Bomb because I couldn't imagine I wouldn't get the shield, and I didn't. So that's surprising. So I'm just going to go and throw my next Sludge Bomb. And yeah, Charmander comes out. I should have just let Bulbasaur go down because that Ember did so much devastating damage. There was really no need for me to switch out. Could have just let myself go down so I didn't switch lock myself, but that's all right because I'm carrying double fire in the back anyway. Actually, should have switched out earlier. And yeah, so this Charmander with Ember is doing pretty good against my Ember Growlithe, and I was going to reach another move, so that's why I shielded, but because the Flame Charge boosted his attack, he actually took me down before I was able to get to my next charge move. And now he's able to get to another charge move before my Vulpix is able to quick attack down. So I'm going to end up shielding another Flame Charge, which is the right move because that would do so much damage. And there's an Abomasnow in the back, which is definitely not allowed. You are not allowed to use evolved Pokemon in Little League in this Element Cup, so this is not allowed to be here, but that's all right. I am just going to throw this next Weather Ball against it. Could have been a Snover, would have been the same thing. I screenshot so I can go complain in chat about Brooks using the wrong Pokemon, and yeah, one battle is enough of that. So I'm going to move on to my next opponent with his Speediest Chief. Opening Ducklet into Chinchou. So this is the hardest counter in the meta to Ducklet. I switch out right away because if Ducklet's going to be able to take out Chinchou, and I need energy. And, oh my gosh, I switch in my my Shadow Vulpix, and he counter swaps a Slugma with Rock Throw, but he no shields the Body Slam, so I'm able to take that out and win switch advantage. That is humongous. I desperately need this switch advantage. So he brings his Growlithe out, and I am going to be able to reach another Body Slam. This Body Slam would do devastating damage, so he has to shield. And I get Ember the rest of the way down, but that's all right. Now I can bring my Ducklet out on this Growlithe who's resisting these Embers. I'm going to end up shielding this Body Slam because it would do tremendous damage, and I don't need to save shields because Chinchou's not really going to be able to do that much damage to my Bulbasaur. He switches out to try to catch a move. Thankfully, I did not throw, and I can just switch my Bulbasaur out. I can take this move, no problem. It is the Thunderbolt, which does kind of a lot, even though it's resisted. Honestly, that really does a surprising amount. Chinchou is not that thick, so it hits very hard. No shields the Seed Bomb, and now I'm able to get to my Seed Bomb, but for whatever reason I overtap and throw an Ember, so I'm not able to actually throw that move. Gonna Wing Attack down. Hopefully he is not able to reach a second Body Slam because these Body Slams would hurt a lot. Shadow Growlithe is pretty squishy, so it hits really hard. But yeah, managed to take that game. GG. Alright, next up, Game 2 against Speediest Chief. Shout out to Speediest Chief, by the way. He is a fantastic Twitch streamer. Love his voice, and he hosts the GBLA tournament, so very grateful for that. Honestly, he's done a lot more for the community than I have, so Yeah, shout out to Speediest Chief. Thank you for being you. I switch into Slowpoke to catch this Aqua Tail, which is a great catch. I didn't have to switch my Vulpix out right away because since this Seal was running Ice Shard, it just wasn't really doing that much. And I feel like the energy on Vulpix is pretty valuable. So if you can build up energy on Vulpix before switching out, if you're taking resisted damage, definitely good to build up energy on Vulpix, because Vulpix's Weather Ball hits very hard, is a very efficient move, and the Body Slam hits very hard. Two very, very efficient moves on Vulpix, really. It has a fantastic moveset for this meta. So Cottonee comes out and charms me down. So I'm just going to bring out Vulpix, build up a little excess energy. I didn't want to throw right away because I was anticipating maybe he would try to make a catch. So I am able to throw this Body Slam on this Ducklett. It would do tremendous damage if it landed. And now, since I got a shield, I'm just going to switch out into my Seal. I'm going to no-shield here because if he's going to Brave Bird me, he's going to put himself in a position where the Body Slam's one-shot. So definitely disincentivized to actually throw the Brave Bird. Sorry. Wow, I'm so out of it right now. It is so hot in this room. So I'm going to throw my Icy Wind against this Ducklett, and the Icy Wind hits for neutral. I'm going to shield here because I figured maybe it would be the... I didn't expect him to bait twice, but it did, and that's all right. So I'm just going to throw this next Icy Wind, which will take out this Ducklett if it does not shield. And yeah, I get the last shield. And then he switches out to Cottonee, so I am trying to get my Vulpix out as soon as I can. Gonna throw this Weather Ball Fire. It will take out the Cottonee from this range. No, it won't. Cottonee is really, really thick. Even from a Shadow Vulpix, the Weather Ball does not one-shot. Does about, looks like 70%. But that's all right. I'm going to be able to Quick Attack down. And this Ducklett has quite a decent chunk of energy, but I am going to still be able to survive this Bubble Beam, and I'm able to just barely get to my move. I'm throwing a Weather Ball Fire. No reason to do that. Could easily have thrown the Body Slam. They both cost the same. I don't know why I keep throwing the wrong move at weird times. But all right, GG. And really close game. On into game 3. All right, Ducklett into Cottonee. This is a pretty decent matchup for Ducklett. The Cottonee's charms hit for neutral, so they do quite a lot. But, I mean, I'm going to be able to get, shield advantages out of him. He switches into Chinchou to try to make a catch, but I was not ready to throw yet. And I switch out into Bulbasaur. So I don't want to take the Thunderbolt because I'd rather retain some health. I'm just going to throw the Seed Bomb because Chinchou also is terrible against Bulbasaur. And, yeah, Speedy lets it go. So in comes a Seal with Ice Shard. So also not an amazing Bulbasaur counter, but the Ice Shards are doing quite a lot of damage. So I'm just going to throw this Seed Bomb. And I'm going to be able to reach a third Seed Bomb here. I'm not going to be able to reach one extra, so I'm just going to launch this as soon as I have it, right before I faint. Get the last shield, and he has to throw one more Ice Shard to take me out. My Ducklett has a Brave Bird ready, but I throw the Aerial Ace because I forgot. I thought that... and also I wasn't too sure how much it would do, but it does that much, which is not quite enough. This Seal has so much energy because it fast moved down my entire... If I had thrown the Brave Bird, would have taken the Seal out and it would have fainted with all of that energy there. But that's all right. I still have 2 shields. Bring out my Cottonee into his, and I am just going to shield this move here because I have 2 shields. Got to use them somewhere. Shield that Seed Bomb. It only hits for single resisted, so it still would have done a decent chunk of damage, and I'm going to be able to charm the whole way down, but since I had lost track of the counts, I'm just going to throw this Seed Bomb, take him out, and just able to charm down this Seal. I managed to take that game 3. GG to my opponent. So, yeah, that's the Element Cup meta. That's what people seem to be wanting to run, so day 1 will probably be Chaos, but you'll see a lot of things that are kind of like that. So until the meta shakes out, I can highly recommend Ducklett. I can highly recommend Vulpix with Quick Attack. Honestly, I think Vulpix with Quick Attack is going to be a star of the show, especially because a lot of people are going to be running quite a lot of grass to help kind of keep Ducklett in check. It's going to be probably a decent chunk of water and grass. So, yeah, I think Vulpix will be really strong. So, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to do the things that you know you're supposed to do at the ends of videos. You know what I'm talking about. You know what you're supposed to do. Please do all the things. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.